And we have a problem. Come on, time to wake up. Almost 20 years ago, this truck crossed the border into Canada. The paperwork described it as a basket case. Today we're going to find out if all the work has finally paid off. Over the last few videos, we got the old Thunderbird 460 running. Now it's time to see if the Tennessee Outlaw is finally ready to run under its own power again. Alright, so picked up a Transdap motor mount kit. But first I got to get the truck leveled before we can figure out where we're going to drill the holes to mount this stuff. Unfortunately, I can't get the truck in the shop any further, so this thing's sitting pretty uneven. I'm going to jack it up and see if I can kind of shim it up and level it out. And right now I got to take these crusty old motor mounts off here. The driver's side went fine. The passenger side, and we have a problem. Didn't feel like it was going to snap, but busted right off. Almost flush with the block. In the best possible spot. Usually this works pretty well for me, but I tried until I ran out of hardware and just couldn't get it. Well, we had a big rainstorm last night, and now it's hotter than heck out here today. I haven't been able to get this motor mount bolt out, so I'm going to have to pull this thing today. Alright guys, so just because I thought we needed even more of a challenge, I broke the drill bit off in there. Perfect. Thank goodness. Unfortunately for me, I haven't got my hole 100% centers, but hopefully we've weakened it up enough to do something with it. Hey, at this point we might as well break a bolt extractor off in there so we can have even more fun. That's tight. That's still just real tight. This thing is in there. This thing is in there. At this point, I just kept drilling until it was really thin, and then I was able to pick away at it a little bit, and then I took a tap to it and worked it back and forth until we had threads again. I was a bit off center, but no reason to panic. That doesn't mean you still can't get it to work. All right, so there's another bolt broke off from the transmission here. Well, not exactly how I wanted to do that, but hey, whatever. I didn't realize how much weight I had on the ratchet strap, and when I released it, it plowed that C6 transmission's tail shaft right into the ground, coating all the splines and the inside of the seal with dirt. After doing what I should have done in the first place, jacking the transmission up or supporting it in some way, I was finally able to get the thing sitting level in there. I got some dirt up in here, in the hole here. Let's knock the seal out so I can get to it. Now with all the fun stuff out of the way, it was time to figure out where this engine was going to sit. Looks like this 75 T-Bird rad might actually work. Since I've got a bunch of Mustang parts laying around, I got to thinking about swapping an 8.8 axle into place, and then possibly using a Fox body drive shaft as well. It turns out they make a U-joint to go from a C6 yoke to a Fox body drive shaft. I also have a drive shaft spacer from back in the day that may help. The reason I want to use a Fox body drive shaft is if I break one on a road trip, then I'll be able to get one from a Fox body and just change the U-joint and the yoke. With the weight on the truck, it changed the carb pad angle a little bit, which I was expecting. Now I'll just lower my transmission mount some to get it where I need it. At some point I broke that carb stud off. Perfect. Seems like there's a lot of drilling on this job. Yeah, that's what victory looks like right there. What did you guys find? What'd you find, Bella? Cooper? What'd you find? Where did you come from? Hi, buddy. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. Leave him be. Bella? Bella, leave the turtle alone. I'm gonna try and adapt a Fox body throttle cable to this truck. Well, you guys that work outside like me know that what it's like to get caught in the rain. That is definitely more better. It's nice to be out in the sunlight. Over here we've got our T-Bird engine harness, and we're going to attempt to wire the Duraspark and make it run. But first we've got a little bit of trimming to do. Got some Super Tech Type F here, whatever that is. It was the cheapest thing I could find. Mind you, none of these fluids are cheap these days. Look how rusty our starter solenoid is here. That's the Great White North or the Rust Belt for you. Well, we might as well just break this off because that's what's probably going to happen. Can't believe that didn't bust. Alright, so this is a pretty crude way to try and fire this thing right now. I've got a TFI hooked up to a toggle switch. And we've got our temporary fuel supply. Really not much else. From all the information I found, this truck was imported into Canada in 2007. And it was a basket case. And every receipt I've seen afterwards states this truck has been a basket case. For a minimum of 19 years, this truck hasn't run. Probably longer. Hopefully today, she's going to run with this big block 460. Here goes nothing. I do not know if we have spark. All right, spark plug. Okay. Whoops, no toggle switch. We have no spark. Okay, so this is something I've been fighting. This DuraSpark module has a black connector, which from what I've been reading is possibly like a 1 year only transition deal. Going through wiring diagrams, I've been able to come up with the right color scheme for the connectors. This red, white, and blue, I've been able to find it. So it's possible that I need to power this white wire here as well, or it's also possible that this could fry this thing. If it does, from what I understand, I need to upgrade to a module that either has a blue grommet or a green grommet. I'm not sure. Since we don't really know, I'm just going to go ahead with it anyway. I'm going to splice into this white wire, give her a whirl. What's the worst that can happen? We're going to buy a module? Looks like we might have to anyway. Let's try it. After doing some checking, we had power to the DuraSpark, but none to the coil. Now, I know this isn't the proper way to do this, but I actually have the coil wire powered from the toggle switch to that orange handled screwdriver. Sometimes you just gotta hear run. Alright guys, this is absolutely horrible the way I have all this set up right now. But I've been chasing that DuraSpark module with the red, white, and blue wires. We've got multiple jumper wires going on here, all kinds of craziness, but we do have spark. So let's see if we can make this thing run after at least 19 years. Better. Better. Come on. Come on, time to wake up. Let's go. Alright, so I know this is pretty backyard, but I've been frustrated like heck trying to make this thing run today. I thought we had power to the coil. I'm sure I checked it earlier. Sure it had power. When I went back to it, we didn't have power. So to get it running, just temporary, don't laugh too hard, I jammed a screwdriver into the positive side of the coil and then took a jumper wire and went to our positive side of our toggle switch. That made it run. And I know that's absolutely horrible, but I wanted to end the day on a positive result. This truck had to run before I made this video. So if you made it this far, please consider liking and subscribing if you want to see what's going to happen with the Tennessee Outlaw. There'll be more videos to come. And this thing will have a turbocharger someday. Not next week or next month, but it is going to get one. As always, thanks for watching. Bye for now.